I spent this weekend reading semantic link documentation. Riveting stuff, by the way. Now, I was reading this documentation because I have this idea for this Python script that's going to run, and I haven't been able to get it to work. And by the way, I still haven't gotten it to work. However, in reading that documentation, I came across a really interesting function. And it's a function that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about. I was able to find a pretty bare bones Microsoft Learn article talking about how to use it. But I think this function in particular has some really interesting potential applications, particularly when it comes to automated data quality tests. Now, before I tell you what this function is and show you how to use it, if you've made it this far in the video, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. So let's set the stage for the problem that this function solves. Here I have two tables. I have a dim product and I have a dim or a fact sales. Now, this fact sales and this dim product are joined together based off of product ID. The idea is that all of the values in dim product will be used to filter down fact sales. Now, this is how you're told to build Microsoft Power BI data models in order to produce the most efficient model. And it does produce the most efficient model when you're building this way. And those models work great, unless the fact table has a value that the dimension table doesn't have a corresponding value for. If that's the case, you end up with something like this. You have a value from the dimension table, so in this case, category, and then a measure across the fact table, in this case, a sum of quantity, and it produces a blank value under the column that's coming from the dimension table. Now, this is no good. And this is happening because our fact sales table over here has product IDs in it that our dim product table right here does not have. Now, make no mistake, this is a data quality problem. This is not a fault of the Power BI model. This is probably something that in a real world production scenario would have occurred far upstream from Microsoft Power BI. But how do you catch this? Well, lucky for us, there is a semantic link function that can identify problems within relationships in Power BI semantic models. And I probably shouldn't say Power BI semantic models. I think we're just calling them semantic models now. So let's take a look at what that function is and how it works. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a new Fabric notebook. So I'm going to go and I'm going to click the new item button right up here. I already clicked it before I start my screen share. And then I'm going to click new notebook and I'm going to hit create. Now in this notebook, I'm going to delete out these comments because I don't need them and I don't comment my work anyway. That's a joke. Well, kind of. And we're going to import semantic link. So we're going to import SEMPy and then we're going to import .fabric as fab. And then we're going to take a look at the measure. And that measure is fab dot list relationship violations. Now, this is a really fascinating function because what it can do is it can check relationships for a few different things. The first of which is cardinality, followed by referential integrity, and then finally functional dependencies. In the scenario that we were talking about earlier in Power BI, what you had was a partial join. You have a foreign key in the sales fact table that does not exist in the dimension table where it's supposed to be the primary key. And what's really cool about this function is that it can check that and call it out. So I've published that semantic model that I was showing you on Power BI desktop up earlier. Let's see if this function can catch that mistake. So I'm going to create a new cell here, and then I'm going to create a few different variables. The first variable is going to be data set name. I'm going to set that equal to the name of the semantic model that I just uploaded, which was sales model. Then I'm going to set a workspace name variable. and I'm going to call that the name of the workspace that this data set is in this case, dev test. And then I'm going to do one additional thing. I'm going to create a dictionary of tables that essentially maps the table names uh, for this function to use. So I'm going to go tables equals right here. And then I'm going to define the name of the tables as they exist in the semantic model. Now, if we click over here, we can see that we have a table called dim product and a table called fact sales. So I am notorious for spelling things wrong. So I'm going to copy and paste these over. And I am going to go in single quotes right here. And then I'm going to go new line. And under this, I'm going to copy over the fact sales table. So let me go down here, rename, and again, copy and paste this over. And then on the other side of this, I'm going to go fabric.read table. And I'm going to go equals data set name. And then again, I need to give it the, and I said fabric, it's fab.read table. And again, I need to give it that table name. So in this case, dim product. And then I'll go comma right here, and I will copy this paste down right over here, and I will go fact sales. And then I will take this dictionary right here, and I will paste it in this function. So let's hit run here. Then as my session starts, let's hit run on this table. So here we go, 14 seconds, run here. So the dictionary is created. And then let's click run right down here to run the relationship violations. So any second now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we are running it. And there we go. Look, it found that we had a relationship violation. Only 222 out of the 322 values in, and let's see if we can expand this message here. And I guess we can't. In sales fact product ID existed. So what you can't see in that text that's been cut off is that it's actually identifying the missing product IDs from the dim product dimensional table out of the semantic model. And you might be like, well, great. What's cool about this? You found a bunch of IDs in a Microsoft Fabric notebook. I could do that on my own by writing some fancy Python, and all that might be true. But what's really cool about this to me is that one, it's really simple and straightforward, but two, you can implement it in a daily data quality check. So what might that check look like? Well, you would have a data pipeline that maybe you're using to refresh a semantic model. You then are calling this notebook, right, which is then running this function. And then if this notebook finds anything, it's then outputting that into an email alert, which then gets sent off to your team and says, hey, by the way, there are product IDs missing. And that is really cool. And that's how you start to build trust with your stakeholders, by making sure that you find the problems before they do. And we all know sometimes we're not that good about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.